What am I to do? What are you standing out there for?
Doctor said your mother isn't well.
So? She'd want to see you, wouldn't she? Come on. We've been waiting for you all afternoon.
This is filthy. Didn't you bring another shirt? How about the beach, Jim?
Oh, it's too hot to drive.
How'd you get to the station, Zeppelin?
This is Mrs. Bayless, George. George! Mrs. Bayless.
How do you do?
You're the people who bought our house, aren't you?
That's right. Come in and see what we did with it before you leave.
I liked it the way it was.
He's frank, isn't he?
See you later. Take it easy, fella.
Hey, thanks for driving it. How about some grape juice, George? Mother made it especially for you.
Good old Kate. Remembered my grape juice.
You drank enough of it in this house. How have you been, George? Sit down.
Takes me a minute. Seems impossible.
What?
I'm back here.
Say, you've gotten a little nervous, haven't you?
Yeah, towards the end of the day. What are you? Big executive now?
Just kind of medium. How's the law?
I don't know. When I was studying in the hospital, it seemed sensible. But outside, there doesn't seem to be much of a law. These got thick, didn't they? What's that?
Flew down last night. We had there for Larry. You know.
Why? Afraid you'll forget him?
What kind of a question is that?
When did you start wearing a hat?
Today. From now on, I decided to look like a lawyer anyway. Don't you recognize it?
Why? Where?
Your father's. He asked me to wear it.
How is he?
He got smaller.
Smaller.
Yeah. Little. He's a little man. That's happens to suckers, you know? It's good I got to him in time. Another year there'd be nothing left but his smell.
What's the matter, George? What's the trouble?
The trouble? The trouble is when you make suckers out of people once, you shouldn't try to do it twice!
What does that mean?
You're not married yet, are you?
George, will you sit down and
Are
stop?
you married yet?
No, I'm not married yet.
You're not going to marry him.
Why am I not going to marry him?
Because his father destroyed your family.
Now look, George.
Cut it short, Chris. Tell her to come home with me. Let's not argue. You know what I've got to say.
George, you don't want to be the voice of God here, do you?
I'm-
That's been your trouble all your life, George. You dive into things. What kind of a statement is that to make? You're a big boy now.
I'm a big boy.
Don't come bowling in here. If you've got something to say, please be civilized about it.
Don't civilize me.
Are you going to talk like a grown man, or aren't you?
Sit down, dear. Don't be angry. Now, what happened? You kissed me when I left, and now...
My life turned upside down since then. I couldn't go back to work when you left. I wanted to go to Dad and tell him you're going to be married. It seemed impossible not to tell him. I loved you so much. Annie, we did a terrible thing. We can never be forgiven. Not to even send him a card at Christmas? I didn't see him once since I got home from the war. Annie, you don't know what was done to that man. You don't know what happened.
Of course I know.
You can't know. You wouldn't be here. Dad came to work that day. The night foreman came to him and showed him the cylinder heads. They were coming out of the process with defects. There was something wrong with the process. So Dad went directly to the phone, called here, and told Joe to come down right away. But morning passed. No sign of Joe. So Dad called again. By this time, he had over 100 defectives. The army was screaming for the stuff, and Dad didn't have anything to ship. So Joe told him. On the phone, he told them to weld. Cover up the cracks in any way he could and ship them out.
Are you through now?
I'm not through now. Dad was afraid. He wanted Joe there if he was going to do it, but Joe can't come down. He's sick. Sick. He suddenly gets the flu. Suddenly. But he promised he'd take responsibility. Do you understand what I'm saying? On the telephone, you can't have responsibility. In a court, you can always deny a phone call, and that's exactly what he did. They knew he was alive from the first time, but in the appeal, they believed that rotten lie, and now Joe's the big shot and your father's the patsy. Now what are you going to do? Eat his food? Sleep in his bed? Answer me! What are you going to do?
What are you going to do, George?
He's too smart for me. I can't prove a phone
Then
call.
how dare you come in here with that rot?
George, the court.
The court did not know your father, but you know him. You know in your heart that Joe did it.
Lower your voice or I'll throw you out
She
here.
knows. She
Get him out
knows.
of here, man. Get him out of here!
George, I know everything you've said. Dad said all of that
The
in court.
court did not know him, Annie.
But you know he'll say anything. You know how quick he can lie.
I'll ask you something, and you look me in the eye when you answer me.
I'll look you in the eye.
You know your father.
I know him well.
And he's kind of boss to let 121 cylinder heads be repaired and shipped out of his shop without even knowing about it.
He's that kind of boss.
And that's the same Joe Keller who would never leave his shop without first going around to make sure all the lights were out.
Same Joe Keller.
The same man who knows how many minutes a day his workers spend in the
The
toilet.
same man.
And my father, that frightened mouse who'd never buy a shirt without someone along. That man would dare do such a thing on his own?
On his own. And because he's a frightened mouse, here's another thing he'd do. Throw the blame on somebody else because he's not man enough to take it himself. He tried it in court, but it didn't work. But with a fool like you, it worked.
Oh, Chris, you're a liar yourself!
Don't talk like that.
Tell me, George. What happened? The court record was good enough for you all these years. Why isn't it good now? Why did you believe it all these years?
Because you believed it. That's the truth, Chris. I believed everything because I thought you did. But today I heard it from his mouth. And from his mouth, it's altogether different from the record. Anyone who knows him and knows your father will believe it from his mouth. Your dad took everything we have. I can't beat that. But she's one item he's not going to grab. Get your things. Everything they have is covered with blood. You're not the type of girl who can live with that. Get your things.
You're not going to believe that, are you?
No, it's not true.
How
Don't you?
can he tell you? It's his father. None of these things ever cross your mind.
Yes, they cross my mind. Anything can cross your mind.
He knows, Annie. He knows.
Voice of God.
Then explain this to her. Why is your name on the business, huh?
What the hell has that got to do with anything?
Why isn't his name on it, Annie?
Even when I don't own it?
Oh, who are you kidding? Isn't that the first thing they do? Who gets it when he dies? Open your eyes. You know the both of them. The way they love each other. J.O. Keller and Son. I'll settle it. You want me to settle it, or are you afraid to?
What does that mean?
Let me go up to your father. In 10 minutes, I'll come down with the answer. Or are you afraid of the answer?
I'm not afraid of the answer. I know the answer. But my mother is not well, and I don't want to fight here
Then
now.
let me go to him.
I don't want you to start a fight here now.
What more do you want?
Someone's coming.
You're not going to say anything now.
He'll go soon. And call it half.
You're coming with me.
And don't mention marriage because we haven't told her yet.
You're coming with me.
You're not going to start anything now, George. Don't!